The DC universe, in which it's not quite clear what's going on right now. It was supposed to start taking shape with the Green Lantern movie, directed by Martin Campbell. It was supposed to start paving the way for Justice League. There were even plans for a small cameo by Superman Henry Cavill in the film's finale. But when the movie went belly up while still in production, many ideas were hastily discarded. All references to other superheroes were removed. As a result, Green Lantern became one of the main failures of 2011. The film tried to go into production back in the late 90s. Back then, on the success of Batman Forever, Warner Studios was working on several superhero movies at once. They even tried to pull Quentin Tarantino and Kevin Smith to direct a film about the Green Lantern. Both declined such a flattering offer. In the late 90s, all studio projects were hastily cancelled because of the epic fiasco at the box office of Batman and Robin. Nicolas Cage and all the other citizens who wanted to run around in colorful costumes were sent home. The studio returned to the Lantern after Batman The Beginning, directed by Christopher Nolan. The film wasn't any big box office success, but reviews from critics and audiences showed the studio that Batman and Robin were definitely already forgotten. A number of different citizens passed through Green Lantern, whom the studio wanted in the director's chair. Even David Goyer, who had just sunk to the box office with his Blade 3, was interested in the project. The studio offered David the vacant director's chair, but he turned it down. Because Warner was also working on Flash. And Goyer joined him. In the end, the film was directed by Martin Campbell. He has never been a star director, and his name to many viewers does not say anything. However, the director has many box office and successful works under his belt. He has rebooted Bond twice, with the films GoldenEye and Casino Royale, and also worked on the films The Mask of Zorro and The Vertical Limit. In other words, Martin could be called a solid craftsman, although his career includes films like Escape is Impossible, his reviews, far from good. Martin, who signed on for the film, was immediately insistent that Bradley Cooper should play the lead role in the film. According to the director, Bradley was the only actor who could be the perfect Green Lantern. Now, the studio's rejection of Bradley may seem odd, but in 2009, when production of Green Lantern began, Bradley Cooper was basically a nobody. Only the comedy The Hangover was supposed to come out, which no one at the studio believed in. And other than that, Cooper had only a few supporting roles in films like Yes Man and Uninvited Guests. Plus, he had a harsh film with Sandra Bullock, All About Steve, which premiered several times postponed. Rumor has it, because of its incredible quality. I mean, Ryan Reynolds didn't seem like a strange option, especially when he was signed he was already starring in Wolverine. And in theory, the studio could have counted on some bonuses that Green Lantern would receive if the X-Men film was successful. All of this led to one problem for which, in the future, Ryan Reynolds will hate Green Lantern so much. Some may think that Ryan doesn't like Lantern because of its failure, but that's not the case. It wasn't until early 2010 that filming began. These were dark times for Reynolds. These times he arranged the director Martin Campbell, who could not accept Reynolds in his film. Reynolds himself would later say that the only thing that kept him from the assault was his future wife Blake Lively, whom he met on the set of Green Lantern, or he would have knocked the ground out from under Martin Campbell. The ongoing conflict between the titular actor and director naturally couldn't help but affect the film. The tense situation on the set and the constant delays have led to a breakdown in the schedule of filming, which in turn led to an increase, already a pretty small budget for the movie, up to $200 million. Instead of a planned 4 months of Green Lantern was filmed for more than 5 months, but then there were test screenings, which resulted in the studio just destroyed the picture on the editing table. Nearly 40 minutes of the film were removed. This infuriated Martin Campbell, who claimed that the studio had killed the movie and turned it into a silly rehash of several incoherent episodes. Ryan Reynolds refrained from commenting on the studio, but in all interviews, openly rejoiced over the failure of the film, saying that once again to go through that hell on the set, he would not want. There is a point. It all looks like Reynolds is the main casualty in the conflict, but Ryan's conflicts with other colleagues working on the movies is not that rare. In the same Blade, he fought with Wesley Snipes, and from the second Deadpool, he squeezed the director of the first tape Tim Miller. So maybe it's not just that Martin Campbell wanted Bradley Cooper on a $200 million budget. The film only grossed $116 million at the US box office. The world gave Reynolds another $103 million.